Hey y'all, since the Oscars are tomorrow or today or past, depending on when you watch this, I've decided to talk about some of the nominees and what I think is going to win every single thing. And it's basically stemming to one overarching point that I have about movies from 2025. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all because I like bringing honesty into everything. Honesty is the best policy. I recorded this video already, but it's okay. You guys like the haircut? Do I look handsome? Let me know. Let me take off my glasses. I'm tired, man. I had my glasses on the whole last video. I don't want to have them on no more. But let's start it off with Best Picture. They have Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. To be honest, I did not see three of these movies. Those three movies are The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, and Train Dreams. I would like to watch them because I've heard good things about them, but I have not seen them. Begonia, great movie, love it. I love the concept. I love how Emma Stone was able to take over with her performance. Amazing performance by her, genuinely and truthfully. F1 was very fun. I like the way that Damson Idris and, what's his name? Is it Matt? Why do I keep thinking Matt Damon? It's not Matt Damon. It's not Matt. What's his name? Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. Them two, they worked really well together on camera. Shout out to my boy. I forgot his name. I did, but he's in No Country for Old Men. He's the villain in that movie. He's also in F1. Great movie. I think they did really good with what they were going for in F1. Shout out to Lewis Hamilton. I believe he was one of the directors of that movie. Frankenstein. Good. Did what it was supposed to do. You can't really do much with something that's so old and so ran through when it comes to like horror and like that genre in general. Frankenstein will forever be Frankenstein will forever be emulated, never duplicated, but they will always try their best, and they did pretty good this time. Marty Supreme, great movie. I watched it very recently. I think Timothée Chalamet gets a lot of flack for the things that he says, but he is a great actor at the end of the day. Shout out to him. Hamnet, I watched it recently. Very good. I enjoyed it. I recently found out that it was based off of a book about the same thing, and they did a really good job of emulating the book. Apparently, I wouldn't know because I haven't read the book, but it's a great perspective coming from, instead of like being fully about what Shakespeare was going through when he was writing Hamlet, just more so talking about what they are implying, or what is implied that the wife of William Shakespeare went through. It's very spiritual and very it's like a deeper movie than I thought it would be, because I don't think that anybody would expect a movie about Shakespeare. I mean, I guess so. A movie about a Shakespeare play, or like how the Shakespeare play came to place, be so emotionally driven and so like difficult to watch at times. Like her screaming over her son's body is insane. And then when Shakespeare comes back from London and sees Hamnet downstairs, and he walks up and he says, "That's my boy," and he starts crying and stuff like that. It's crazy as shit. When the son is on the floor hugging his sister, saying, "I won't run away now, Dad, I won't run away now," taking the plague, it's implied to be the plague, from his sister, insane. His twin sister, by the way. And then also at the end, it's like a good 35 minutes of the play Hamlet being done, and it is incredible, obviously, because it's the starting point of 99% of movies ever. Hamlet is the starting point of any movie. It is the most iconic piece of literature probably of all time when it comes to like influence on movies, because every movie has the same blueprint, and that blueprint was created by Shakespeare when he wrote that play. And that's just what it is. One Better After Another, very fun, very good. I like Leonardo DiCaprio. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's a great actor. As y'all can tell, I'm a little off because I already recorded this, but yeah, I don't care. I'm still going to do it again. Leonardo DiCaprio did an amazing job. I also feel like Tina Taylor had a great acting year for herself. She did a great job in this movie. Sinners is my winner. Sinners wins for me. I'm so sorry. And this was my overarching point. Sinners is going to win a lot of awards, because, at least for me, because this movie was every year when I watch movies, I have a marker for what I think is like the top tier, and every movie that comes after it throughout the year, I continuously give it the grade of, was it close to doing what this movie did, regardless of genre. And Sinners was that movie this year. So like every time a movie came out, like Marty Supreme, Hamnet, etc., or like I don't, it doesn't matter if they came out before or after. I'm saying if I watched it after Sinners, my initial thought and my overarching thought period was it able to do what Sinners did regardless of the genre that it was in, because of how good Sinners is. I'll talk about it so much. I don't need to talk about it right now. But just the performance, the directing, the casting is perfect. The story works with like the timeline perfectly. The type of like subtle things that they mention throughout the movie, the more that you watch it, the more you understand, oh, this is why this is happening in this way. It is so perfectly constructed. If you took one piece off, everything falls off. That's how connected everything is in this movie. Best director, though, it has Chloe Zhao with Hamnet, Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme, PTA with One Battle After Another, Joaquin Trier with Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler, Sinners. I did not watch Sentimental Value. I will one day, and I'll let y'all know how it was probably. And if y'all like movie stuff, just let me know. I love movies. I watch movies all the time. Yesterday I rewatched Little Miss Sunshine. Love it. And also I didn't realize that movie has a lot of parallels with, like, number one, it's a stacked cast. So many famous people are in that movie, and I did not know that. But also, there's a lot of parallels to Donnie Darko in that movie, and I feel like that was on purpose because there is like pageantry stuff in Donnie Darko that is mentioned, and it like brings out the weird shit that happens within like beauty pageants for little girls, because they're little fucking girls. Simple as that. They are little girls, and it's very weird to see this type of thing. But I did not notice that there were that many like parallels between those two movies, but that's neither here nor there. I think that the best director is Ryan Coogler. Yeah, watch the movie. Literally, you can watch the movie with the sound off. Look at it. You'll understand the story. It's like one of those movies where you can just turn it off. You can just look at what he did with the camera and what he did with the stage direction and the set building, and you're like, wow, yeah, he did everything perfectly. There's not one thing I would change about the movie. I'm being for real. I would not change a single part of Sinners. I think it ends perfectly. And if you're like, oh, I changed the fact that Smoke dies. No, that's like a great part of the movie. And I'm not saying it because it's like, oh, I don't like Smoke as a character. He's my favorite character, actually. I like it because it actually brings realism to the situation. Smoke would not have survived after this. The clan would have got him, or somebody, or the vampires would have got him. Like, it's just that serious. Like, he would have got caught. So he was thinking, I'm going to go out on my shield. I'm going to die how I want to die. And that's just what it is. My brother's gone. He's a vampire. I cannot do nothing about that anymore. I let him live. I spared him. I let him be a little vampire by himself. But now, it's the end for me. I'm done. I'm not becoming a vampire. I'm going out on my own terms. Which is exactly how the character Smoke would be if you watched the movie. So I wouldn't change that at all. I wouldn't change, I would not change my boy Preacher Boy from ever, like from becoming a musician. Shout out to Buddy Guy, I believe is the one who plays him when he gets older. It's such a beautiful like growth in life, by the way, when you see later on where he's still making music, still singing, still performing, and they pull back up on him and he says, I wake up every night paralyzed. But before that, it was the best night of my life. Was it the same for y'all? And then Stack responds, of course. It's the last time I saw my brother. Last time I saw the sun. And I cannot perform that line well enough because I'm not an actor. That's just what it is. I'm not an actor. But it's just such a powerful line, because even in this state that he's in, because I don't know if they don't really clarify much in this movie when it comes to like what happens after Remick dies to the other vampires, but obviously they're still alive and they're still vampires. But are they still being controlled by something? I don't know. I think they just have eternal life. But even in that state, he's still able to recognize that was the best night of my life by far. That was like that, and that's crazy to think about, and it's just such beautiful writing. I think Ryan Coogler's the best director, though, of the year. And I think he's one of the best directors we've ever seen make movies. Watch his movies. He knows how to direct. Best actor: Timothy Chalamet, Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke, Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, and Wagner Moura, The Secret Agent. Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, I don't have to explain that he played two characters who literally had no parallels when it comes to like personality, and he had to do that for an entire movie. They acted so different. Like I can't emphasize enough how difficult that would be to do. Like, you have to go into a movie, become a character. Becoming someone else for an entire movie is difficult in its own right, but being able to do it for two different characters consistently, to the point where the only similarities that Smoke and Stack have really is that they look the same. That's it. He did it so well that he gave Stack dimples and he gave Smoke none. Smoke doesn't have dimples in the movie. Stack does. Like, do you understand how crazy it is to do stuff like that as an actor? This shouldn't even be this should be a fucking blowout. I'm being honest. Like, this one right here should be a blowout. Best Actress: Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Kate Hudson, Renate Reneves. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. And Emma Stone. It's between Jessie Buckley and Emma Stone. I'm going to give it to Emma Stone. Shout out to Jessie Buckley. Her performance in Hamnet was captivating, breathtaking, but it's the same thing for Emma Stone. She's been on such a run recently, by the way. Shout out to her. She started off kind of like in those like adult comedy movies. So seeing her like pivot into being a real actor over like the last decade and a half has been very good to see. And she's consistently been in great movies. So shout out to her. Best Supporting Actor: Delroy Lindo. Like, I can't use enough words to speak on how good Delroy Lindo was in this movie, of portraying a man who was so taken by his vices because of the things that he's seen. Like, he's genuinely just driven by alcohol and music at this point of his life because of all the things that he has seen prior in his life. And he speaks about one of those on the way to the juke joint with Stack and Preacher Boy. When they are in the car, he's talking about when him and his friend were used to make music for white people. And he says a lot of very pivotal moments in that part where he talks about white people like blues music, they just don't like the people who make it, which is true. White people like everything about people of color's culture. They just don't like people of color. That is just what it is. But I'm not gonna get too political. I'm gonna calm down. But and then he also says that when they started making money playing this music for them, his friend that he was doing it with said that he wanted to start a church in his hometown. So they asked, did he end up doing it? Nope. On the train, on the way there, before he even got on the train, getting the ticket, the Klan caught him, called all his money, took it from him, said that he robbed a white woman and raped her, and then hung him at the train station. And then right after telling the story, you know what he starts doing? Singing. It's like beautiful. It's like poetry. It's genuinely poetry to see something so like in your face work so beautifully. He's saying something that is very hard for him to talk about. So instantly a defense mechanism is to start humming music, singing, thinking about something else, getting his mind off of the terrible things that he's seen. It's like genuinely beautiful. Best Supporting Actress: Ella Fanning, Igdosterlinas. I don't know how to say that name. I'm so sorry. Amy Madigan. I gotta try to say her name right. Wumi Mosaku and Tiana Taylor. Like I said, I think Tiana Taylor did great in that movie. It's really between two people for me, though. It is between Amy Madigan and Wumi Mosaku. If you don't know what Amy Madigan was in, she was in Weapons. She was the main villain. She played the aunt of, I forgot the boy's name, but he was the only boy out of 16 of his classmates that didn't disappear. And that was for a reason. If you haven't seen the movie, you should see it. She plays such a great villain in such an odd movie. The movie is oddly created, oddly filmed. It's just completely odd. And the way that she's able to portray such an odd character in this movie like that is insanely beautiful to watch. She has such a great role. And she just, the way that she's able to portray such a, like, oddly spiritual person. Like, she's going around with this wig on, looks like a cartoon character. She's dying actively, and she's trying to take these kids, and this is an insanely sinister person. She is taking these children to suck the life out of them and take their life so she can live longer. She has her sister and her sister's husband in the house, completely numb to everything, stabbing themselves in the face whenever her nephew does not listen to her. She is insanely sinister, but in an odd way, because she has no real physical power over anybody. She uses other people as pawns to continue to have physical power, but she doesn't have any. She's weak. She's not strong. She's consistently getting weaker every day physically. But she is so scary in this movie. And she's able to create such scary entities within this movie over and over again. The ability that she has to just like, whenever she's on screen, you get this feeling of discomfort or like, I want her to get off screen. It's so impressive for somebody who's like not really scary looking, unless you really like she's not intimidating to look at. She's not an intimidating villain like, you know, you're thinking of people like Jason or like Scream, the Scream mask, Ghostface. Like, you don't see people like her be the villain so successfully, and also like actually think, like, during this movie I did not think that they would be able to succeed in a plausible way, because she had such control over the situation during that time period. Now when they did succeed, it did make sense, but I didn't view it as plausible because of how good and how intimidating her character began to be. So it's a really good performance. Wunmi Mosaku, though, she was in Sinners. She was really good in Sinners. She was perfect in Sinners. She played her role perfectly. She was the brains of everything. She was the smartest one. She was the most empathetic one, in the most obscure way possible. She was empathetic and intelligent. She's insanely spiritual throughout this movie. She speaks about how she doesn't enjoy the money that Stack and Smoke made because it comes with blood, and of course it's cursed because it has blood on it. The way they get their money is going to continue to curse them regardless of how much money they have. And as you see throughout this movie, it does not end well for them. Obviously it does not end well for them. But she's just such an oddly caring person throughout this movie. The way that she's able to continuously be the brains and come up with every solution during this time period, and they continue to look to her for the help and the guidance throughout the time, especially when they are inside of the building with all of the vampires outside. She's able to continuously still help them calm down and really realize and assess the situation. She's a supporting actress in this movie. She's able to really shine in this movie in multiple ways. I think it's a very close race. I'm going to give it to Wunmi Mosaku, though. I do really think she deserves it. But there's some other things. Really, this whole video is about Sinners. Weapons should have gotten more recognition, in my opinion. I think Weapons is a really good movie. It would be one of the best horror movies. It's one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite horror movies of the year. It's second because of Sinners being number one. But it's a beautiful movie. I think the way that it's filmed is so captivating for somebody who like hasn't seen it. If it's your first time watching it and you're seeing all the different point of views and you're beginning to understand the actual like the actions, and you're seeing the story come together more and more to the point where like, oh my goodness, how is this going to end well for anybody? Because the kids have had their brains washed for I don't know how long now, probably over a month. I don't remember how long it was, but it was a very long time by this point. And seeing all these different point of views was just so interesting, because movies don't do that type of stuff, because there's like 8 separate main characters. I don't remember how many there are, but there's a lot of different main characters. From, I don't remember her name. She was the first girl, the police officer, the principal, the dad, what's it called? Of course, the nephew, the little boy, the only one that went back to class, and then it was the grandma. Not the grandma. I'm sorry, she just looks like a grandma because she's a little old. But it's that's his aunt, her. Like, there's so many different characters they want you to focus on, but it's not confusing. It's not overstimulating. It's not overwhelming. It is just so well, like, and it's so good. It's so well written in every way. But Sinners is probably my favorite movie for the last 5 years. Hate to break it to you, Sinners is the best movie I've seen in the last 5 years. I don't have to say much. I'm going to just leave it at that. I have more to talk about really soon with y'all. Like I said, if you want to see more movie stuff, want to see more music stuff, want to see more stuff, because I can't come on here and talk about the same shit every time, because then I'm going to just get bored. I got to mix it up, talk about movies sometimes. And I hope y'all understand. See you on the next one in peace.